There's a moment right before your hand touches something hot, where your body makes a decision without asking you. You've already pulled back. The signal never reached the part of you that thinks. It went to your spinal cord, turned around, and moved your arm before you knew anything was wrong. Now imagine that signal never comes. You place your palm flat on the burner, you hold it there. You feel pressure, you feel warmth. But nothing tells you to stop. Most people hear this and think it sounds like a superpower. No more headaches, no more back pain, no more dread in a dentist chair. And for about a day they'd be right. But the thing that would actually kill you isn't the stove. It's something much quieter, and it would already be happening while you sleep. To understand why, you have to understand what pain actually is. Because it isn't in your hand, it isn't in your knee, it isn't in the tooth. Pain is a decision your brain makes. Your body is wired with millions of tiny sensors. They don't send pain, they send data. Temperature, pressure, stretch, chemical change. That data travels up to the brain, and the brain decides what it means and how loud to make it. Which means pain isn't damage, pain is a warning about damage. It's an alarm system, and like every alarm system, its only job is to be annoying enough that you do something. Take away the alarm, and the fire doesn't stop. You just stop knowing about it. So let's start the clock. Day 1 feels incredible. You wake up and the stiffness in your neck is gone, not healed, just silent. The old injury in your knee doesn't complain on the stairs. You eat something too hot and don't flinch. You bite the inside of your cheek and keep chewing. You'd feel younger, lighter, like something heavy had been switched off. And in a way it has, but your body has already started taking damage in those 24 hours, damage you wouldn't see for months. Here's what nobody tells you about pain. You are using it constantly, right now, without noticing. Sit still for 2 minutes and your body will shift. You'll roll a shoulder, recross your legs, lean to one side. You didn't decide to do that. A faint discomfort built up in a joint, and your nervous system corrected it before the feeling ever became a thought. You do this thousands of times a day. Every one of those tiny adjustments spreads the load across your body so no single joint carries the weight for too long. Without pain, you don't make those corrections. You sit the same way for hours. You stand with your weight on one leg all day. The cartilage in that joint gets crushed in the same spot over and over, and it doesn't grow back. The joint slowly collapses. It's not dramatic. There's no single moment. One day the ankle just doesn't hold anymore. The same thing happens to your eyes. Blinking isn't only a reflex. It's driven by a low, constant irritation as the surface of your eye dries out. Remove that irritation and you blink less. The cornea dries. It scars. Vision fades. And then there are the injuries you simply never find. A cut on your foot from a piece of glass. You walk on it for 3 days. It goes deep, gets infected, and by the time you see it, it isn't a cut anymore. Which brings me to something strange. There is a disease that has taken fingers from people for thousands of years, and the disease itself never touches the fingers at all. We'll come back to that. Because at this point you might be thinking this is all hypothetical. A thought experiment. It isn't. There are people alive right now who feel no pain. The condition is called congenital insensitivity to pain, and it's caused by a change in a single gene, a gene that builds the channels your pain signals travel through. Without those channels, the message is sent, but nothing arrives. These people are not numb. That's the part that surprises everyone. They feel their clothes. They feel a hug. They feel hot and cold. Everything works except the alarm. And their lives are a constant, exhausting act of substitution. Because they can't feel danger, they have to think it instead. For children, it's the hardest. Infants with the condition bite through their own tongues and lips when their teeth come in, because nothing tells them to stop. Some lose fingertips before they're old enough to explain what happened. Parents don't get to relax. There's no scream to tell them something went wrong, so they have to check. Every day. Joints, feet, eyes, mouth. Manually running the alarm system their child was born without. Many don't live to old age, not because the condition attacks the body. It doesn't. But because a body without warnings accumulates damage faster than anyone can find it. Now back to the disease that takes fingers. Leprosy. For most of history, people believed the flesh simply rotted away, that the disease consumed the hands. It doesn't. Leprosy attacks nerves. It destroys the ones near the surface of the skin, in the hands, the feet, the face. And once those nerves are gone, the person stops feeling those parts of their body. Everything after that is ordinary life, gripping a hot pan, a stone in a shoe, a small cut that gets infected. Injuries that everyone gets, but nobody stops because nothing hurts. The fingers aren't eaten by the disease. They're lost to 1,000 ordinary accidents that were never noticed. That's the part worth sitting with. Two completely different conditions, thousands of years apart, and the same outcome because they break the same thing. So go back to the stove. Your hand is on the burner, nothing hurts, and that genuinely feels like freedom. But the reason you'd pull your hand away isn't that pain is cruel. It's that something inside you decided your hand was worth more than your comfort, and it decided so fast you didn't even get a vote. Pain isn't a flaw in the design. It's the part of you that's been keeping you alive this entire time, and it only feels like an enemy because it's never once failed at its job.